Hello Internet, I'm Jackie Fox and welcome to the Fight Club. Today we're going to be talking about a game that's new for this channel, Final Fantasy Brave Exvius War of the Visions. And this is basically if you've ever dreamt of a mobile version of Final Fantasy Tactics with good gameplay. I'm not going to say the storyline is anywhere near the original Final Fantasy Tactics, but it's better than maybe some of its sequels for sure. War of the Visions is definitely the game for you. Now, while this game is technically free to play, you might, if you don't play, it's easy to lose money in this game. Let's just put it that way. And if you are going to play this as a free to play, get ready to grind. There's going to be a lot of grind. It's very well worth it, just like the original Final Fantasy Tactics, but good God, there's grind. Before I get into topics like what I think is a good beginner's guide for new players, how to start out as a free-to-play, what units a new player should invest in, and just some advanced tactics on how to build your units, I've got to demonstrate some bona fides here. You don't know me from Adam in terms of War of the Visions, and why should you listen to me? I've only been playing for like 3 months. Well, let's check out my PvP team. I was lucky, blessed enough to pull Yuna, and I invested heavy in her. I also assumed that Mont was going to be an absolute beast, even as an MR unit, so might as well use that MR Broadstone on the best MR unit. And boy, I was not disappointed by the upgrades. Now, for Mont, you're going to want to turn a lot of stuff off. You really just want to run the new kit other than Sentinel, Immortal Spirit, and Taunting Blade. Other than that, you're going to go with Killer Drain Blade and Stone Toss, because both of those moves are awesome now. Stone Toss is guaranteed hit, which is good against evasion. It also increases Mont's defense penetration, so he likes to throw this when he's out of range and then close in for a big attack, and that just helps that attack do more damage. I'm also building him so that he's going to get a bunch of damage bonuses. As you can see, his attack isn't the best, but when you consider that with an Esper like Odin, I can increase Maneater, which gives him bonus damage against all PvP units, as of right now at least. We can get slash attack up, we can get attack up. With his vision card, first turn hate is big for him, even though he does have Taunting Blade. Just getting all the enemy units clustered around this guy early on is always beneficial. It gives your heavy hitters time to set up their shot, really. So even though this is an MR Vision card, I highly recommend running it even if you are playing competitively. Because of that, it also increases your critical chance for your whole team and Mont's slash attack damage, which is all he does. Even Stone Throw, it's a very sharp stone, that does slashing damage. So it will benefit from this. In terms of weapon, I think the Brotherhood is really good on him right now. He doesn't actually benefit from the water attack up, but he does benefit from the very high attack and the slash attack up. And it's pretty easy to get into max out right now. It's a great piece of equipment if you're playing during this event, so just get it, throw it on Mont. Also, I am super good with my decision to build Mont over Tidus. No offense to Tidus, I think that his design in this game really captured what he is as a unit a lot better than, say, FFBE did. But to be fair, they can't really incorporate the mechanics of time very well into their game, so it was hard for them to really do my boy justice. But still, basically, if you build Tidus, you're not going to be able to build Mont and Yuna, and I would rather build Mont and Yuna, and that's what I did, and that's what this team is about. In terms of TMR for Mont, I either run Tidus's boots because he can really benefit from the ability warming up on the boots. Also, to give him 5 agility, that's the main reason they're on there, just to make Mont a little bit faster, so he can get out in front and start taking damage and giving it back. This isn't going to interfere with him casting Immortal Spirit on the first turn, If you go the Bell's route for even more speed, he will probably revitalize first turn instead of using Immortal Spirit, which can be kind of risky because he might be able to get off more Killer Drain Blades, which are going to deal a lot of damage and basically restore most of his health every time he uses it. But at the same time, it means that you might have to wait until an opportune moment to use Courage later in the fight. And honestly, while I think that that strategy is a little bit riskier, he tends to be able to find the time to cast Immortal Spirit before he really gets in serious danger, even when he's bearing down an entire group. I mean, really, it can't be understated that Mont's greatest ability here is his sheer ability to tank damage. Even though it's not his strongest suit, he can even take a moderate amount of magic damage. It's kind of surprising, and it's really because of his massive HP. Moving on, the unit that everybody has already talked about, Yuna. You know what she does. I've only got her to 115. I'm running her as a Kodadama wielder to give me... I mean, basically, running Sakura, Yuna, and Mont, and running the ladies as Kodadama wielders means that everyone on my team has a chance, or has a good ability, low cost too, guaranteed hit ability that can potentially one-hit an evasion unit. Because it's not a problem until they're there, but you run up against an evasion unit, you want to be able to counter it, or you're just going to have a bad time. But also, I don't think that Raise is really reliable or even worth it when it does go off, so I'm not going to be using Summoner of Sphera unless Full Life happens to get hard locked into that, because I really would want her to have a level 20 Full Life when I get her there. In terms of equipment, Prunus Lamina for her and Sakura is a definite must. If you can only put it on one of them, I would put it on Sakura and give Yuna something like the Magistral Rod. In terms of TMRs for Yuna, I really like the Crescent Moon headpiece from Medinia because it has a really powerful group buff that's going to benefit anyone in the party for sure, and it's also going to encourage her to kind of close the distance between her and some of the other units in your group. Because Yuna, while she can do a lot of damage, she tries to stay back and stay safe most of the time, and this will kind of push her a little bit more aggro. Just a little bit. But there's really probably a lot of things that you could put on Yuna and would be okay. That's just what I happen to be using. Since Yuna isn't using a TMR that's going to be boosting her speed, we can also give her Hermes Sandals, just so that everyone in the group is as fast as possible. Now, finally we have Sakura. For Sakura, obviously we're using the Prunus Lamina. In terms of TMR, I'm probably going to go with Ziza's Bells just to give her a speed boost, and also she can kind of benefit from Revitalize. I mean, everybody can kind of benefit from Revitalize, that's why that's the best TMR in the game. Also, I haven't addressed it verbally, but oh my god, I guess it was like the massive grinding that I've been doing for the Final Fantasy X event, and I think Sakura is the unit that most consistently dies at this point. Now that Yuna started to survive better, I guess it wiped out her bravery. I mean, 12. I'm kind of tempted to let her just keep going and turn into a chicken, but I need to bravery farm and fix this. No wonder she's been having trouble. So this is going to obviously make her a lot better, and in the future I am going to make a bravery farming video where I explain to you exactly what I'm doing here. Another option for her though, if you want to give her a little bit more utility, because I am running a more pure damage Sakura instead of one that would have Cura on her, since she does have high magic, she is a good candidate for Yuna's clothes, which gives her you know, just additional support capabilities that she doesn't really have in her kit very much, and a little bit of healing, but just for emergencies, and she's not really going to use Smile Practice very much anyways, so don't worry about it messing up your slots for something else. It's going to be a good choice. Either way you go. And if you do end up going Yuna's clothes on Sakura, you might want to put the Hermes Sandals on her. I like her being the fastest because she's a little bit of a glass cannon. Now, in terms of espers for the ladies, use the fastest ones you can get. That's generally going to be Siren and Shiva. And then for their vision cards, there are 3 options in my mind. There's the Black Rose VC because that increases agility. You want them to be fast. That's not very situational. That's going to help out in any situation. You can also run Skahal's VC, which gives them Magical Maneater, which is going to give them the same damage bonus against everyone else that I've been stacking on Mont. So it kind of spreads that around the group a bit. And then a little bit more situational, but if you're in a sword or a slash heavy meta or you're hunting slash teams, then you could run Solidus. Because it's going to give you that slash resistance while additionally really boosting up your magic quite a bit. And if you have it at level 99, it's going to boost the HP and survivability of both of your light units on this team. And they're the ones who need it the most. Obviously, Mont can take care of himself. He doesn't need an extra 25% HP. It would be great, but he doesn't need it like Yuna especially does, because she can generally survive anything that doesn't take her out in a single hit, because she can restore her health almost instantly in most cases. And Sakura is a bit of a glass cannon, so allowing her to survive and strike back could really change a game for you as well. But if you don't have it at level 99, then you're not getting the HP bonus, and it's not really going to be something that you're going to want over those other 2 vision cards unless you are playing on a slash attack up map. As a tip for their AI, if you want the ladies to use their buffing moves more often, things like especially Luniverse, if you're equipping Medina's TMR, then you're going to want to turn off Nimble Movement, especially if you're running them Kododama. Well, it's on the Kododama Wielder subjob, but they both really like to use that, especially if they start out and aren't in range of the opponent. This is going to keep them a little bit more independent on the map, so a little less prone to dying from AoE, but at the same time, they're also not going to be able to buff each other as much, so they're not going to be quite as powerful, even though they will be a little bit better at swooping in and getting an opportune hit. So it's a bit of a trade-off on how you want them to play. There are advantages to doing that either way. Another thing I want to say is Yuna definitely benefits from 120. Full Life feels like something that should have been in her 99 kit and is definitely a welcome addition to her kit. But that being said, I've had her at 115 for this whole video, and that's all you really need. 105 is amazing for her, but 115 and upgrading Yevon's gift to Aeon Bond is amazing for her in terms of survivability, especially if you can keep her from getting one hit. For Mont, he really needs 105 especially, and he's going to use the sword gems and tablets, and those are going to be really common. Like Gilgamesh, Tidus are also using those, and I bet a lot of other units are going to be using those in the future. So maybe only take him to 105 if you want to get that Killer Drain Blade, and then keep Stone Throw off. If you get up to 115 and get the Stone Throw upgrade, that's pretty good, but really the best new part of his kit is Killer Drain Blade at 105. And then at 120 he gets Breakdown, which hits 2 units in a row and reduces attack and magic. It's pretty good, but I never see him use it. I think it's too big. I think it costs too much AP, really, and he's gonna favor Killer Drain Blade, and you're gonna want him to use that anyways, so it's not great, but I mean, it's not worth turning off, but it's not really worth getting him to 124. If you do get him to 120, it's going to be more for the stats, and the fact that you can really buy his Mind Spheres for Gil. I mean, come on. Why aren't you 120ing my boy? Really, it's got to be concerned for all those sword resources, which are going to be really scarce. So, you know, if you're being really conservative, take Mont to 105. If you aren't, take him to 115. If you really love my boy Mont, take him to 120. But he only really needs 105 to be amazing. Now let's take it a bit deeper. For Mont, the abilities you're going to want are HP up and Holy Knight's Protection. That's going to boost his HP with both of those abilities, in addition to giving him some more defense. Those are pretty obvious. So is Paladin's Guard, which is going to be a good reaction that is going to save him from taking a lot of damage. It's all pretty simple for him, honestly. For Sakura, I like to run her with Magic Reflex because magic teams are in the meta right now and she can at least dodge that pretty well. And in dodging, she kind of gets around the fact that she's a glass cannon because if it doesn't do damage, it doesn't matter how much HP she has, she's going to survive it. I also run her with double magic up. Seriously. Let me just check that I'm not doing something. This feels too easy. There's a lot of other options. So I am thinking Dark Spirit's Blessing might be good on her. It is also something that I'm using on Yuna, but I haven't built it up yet. I probably have enough JP to build it up, but for right now I'm just making her a Suicide Bomb, like a modern version of Medina with a lot more utility. And then for Yuna, I am running Dark Spirit's Blessing, as I said before, and Moon Crest, so we're getting Magic, Spirit, Healing Power, and Dark Resistance. Is that the... right? Dark Resistance? Yes, Dark Resistance. I doubted myself for a second on that. Finally, there's my Light Slash team, my chance to show off the Sleepy Waifu. I build her up specifically for her, Sakura, and Yuna all being able to synergistically boost each other and do like a mono light composition, but I don't know. Mon just kind of does her job better than she does. Maybe I should try it again, but I do like this using Mont and El Sorel in the same composition and building it for like really heavy slash resistance and really heavy slash attack, with Yuna playing more of a support and also kind of giving a boost to El Sorel stats as well. This is a really good team to run, at least in slash up maps, and to also run this with a level 99, or really any version of Solidus. But level 99, you're going to get tanky, you're going to be able to resist the most powerful damage on that map pretty well, and you're going to be boosting your own damage. So it's a really potent combination.